Yo, what's up guys? Today I made brand new buffies for Sprout because he really needed some. The first thing I had to do while trying to make buffies for Sprout was actually designing how they would look. I drew 3 different sketches to see what would look the best. The first design were some post-its with little feet. You could see Sprout's face on it because that's where he got it from. My second idea was making a watering can, which I didn't like that much after I made it. So eventually, for my last design, I had a pot with a little plant inside of it, with also a sticky note to have a face, and then 2 legs as well. Eventually, I went for this design because I thought that it would fit with Sprout the most out of all 3 of them. For the next step, I had to actually design it, so I did it inside of Canva because that would be the easiest for me. As you can see right here, this is how it looks. I think it was pretty cool. Then I made 3 different versions of it, one for the gadget, one for the star powers, and one for the hypercharge. I changed the colors of the pot itself, but I decided to leave the sticky note and the plant. Now that we are done with the design itself, we can finally go on to look at what they will do. Let's start with Sprout's transplant gadget. The wall that Sprout destroyed with his gadget will now also knock enemies back for 3 tiles. This would be really great for Sprout if he wants to replace his super without enemies immediately going through that area. It can also help him by using his super next to him and then using the gadget so that the enemies will be knocked back. For Sprout's Garden Munchler gadget, I thought that it would definitely need a rework. Currently, you can use his gadget when you're inside a bush, destroying it and healing 1920 HP. This isn't a lot and also doesn't really help Sprout that much, so that's why I decided to rework it. For the rework, when using his gadget, Sprout will jump 3 tiles away in the air. It's very similar to Brock's gadget, which is really helpful for Sprout, because now he can escape assassins without dying. And for his buffy, Sprout will place a wall at the location where he used its gadget. This is a really good way to block enemies off. If they are on top of you, you can just use the gadget. They are behind the wall while you're in front of it, and that's a great way to kill them by using your attack above the wall. Next up, we have all of the star powers. For Sprout's Overgrowth star power, whenever Sprout hits someone with his larger seed bomb, his next attack will also be bigger. This is a really great way to combo people with his attack. Obviously, it also makes hitting people way easier, which is sometimes difficult for Sprout, although it might making a little bit less skilled. Next up, we have the Photosynthesis star power, which I'm also reworking. Currently, it gives Sprout a shield whenever he's inside a bush, and that doesn't really do that much. Especially when his other star power is way better and way more used. For his rework, Sprout will heal 320 health points for every second that he's inside of a bush. I feel like healing is way handier for him than just getting a shield. This star power will especially be better with his buffy. Sprout's main attack will also be 1 tile further away whenever he is inside of a bush. With this buffy, it is really important to find a good bush, and it doesn't necessarily has to be next to a wall, because that wall could be further away because he has way more reach. Now for the most important part of the video. Everybody knows that Sprout's hypercharge is really bad, so it needs a rework. Currently, Sprout's hypercharge deals 500 damage every second that you're next to it, or if you destroy the wall, there will still be an area where it does damage. For someone to take damage, they literally have to be right on top of that super, which isn't gonna happen a lot. And even if people do that, they still won't do a lot of damage. So that's why for the rework, Sprout Super will use vines to pull enemies towards it in a radius of 4 tiles and make them take 1000 damage every second. It's kinda like how Tara's Super work, where you can like pull enemies toward it. I also changed it from doing 500 damage, which isn't a lot, to 1000 damage, which should be a little bit better. I wanted to keep it similar like it was before. I also saw some ideas where people made it invincible his walls, but I don't think that's really that good because Sprout's walls aren't being broken that much, and it might lead to some bad gameplay with trapping people inside of a goal of Brawl Ball, for example. And now it's on to the Hyper Buffy. Most Hyper Buffies just change the main attack while hypercharged, so that's definitely what I'm gonna do as well. Sprout's main attack will bounce an additional 1 time. This doesn't seem like a lot, but it's actually really much, because when you use it, it can bounce like another 2 or 3 tiles, which is a lot of range. And when an enemy is in between walls, you can almost guarantee hitting them with this hypercharge. If you think you would change anything about this, then please let me know in the comments, I would really appreciate that. If you watch this video all the way to the end, you should also consider liking and subscribing because that would help me a ton. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.